Hey everybody, Coach DP. I want to talk a little bit about, in a difficult situation, the Florida shootings at the high school. 17 lives lost, 14 additional hurt. As folks dive around the different excuses and reasons, and that's not my place. It's not my place to fall in line. I can only tell you what I found that works. And as a coach and having teams under my watch, I've always felt like it was my responsibility to connect them, to connect with them, to identify who they are, their personality profiles, what they spend their time on, who they connect to, and then give them a constant check-in, a voice, an explanation of who they are. And I'd like to say that if you ask a young person who they are, they can't wait to tell you. And I'm not perfect, and I don't have the perfect system. But what I offer was this, that in the weekly, from the moment we have tryouts, and ask them who they are, getting personality profiles from them. So I kind of know who they are. I know what moves them. I know why they're there. I know what they're trying to accomplish. I know who they want to be. I know who they are, but I know who they want to be, which is what I use as a leverage. And then I connect them. I connect them to each other, to teammates, to the communities, the school, classmates, teachers, parents, family, and then other coaches. And in that connection, and I use the word connection a lot, in that if they're connected by action, by goal, by mission, by purpose, if they're aware of what the other person is there for, and they connect their common goals and common ideals, that if one of them decides to go left, well, if you're connected, somebody else will go left with you and know that you're going that way and will help pull you back into the lane of forward and up. If you go right, the same thing applies. If you go backwards, there's somebody there. If you go forward too quickly, there's somebody there to identify you, and that you get a weekly check-in with parents and teachers and other students. It's a reason to share information, and you understand that you're on the same page with other people. And that's the value of sports and part of the value of teams. But as a coach and as a man, it's my job to give them a plan, to help them, to assist them, to give them a boost. My hands are to lift and elevate, to carry if need be. And in the cases of these schools where the young people aren't identified, I send my players out into the schools. They've got to add smiles. I have a smiles project for that very reason, for them to find somebody. First, start with the people that you care about. Be smart enough to love those that love you. Do something for those people around you at home that care about you and take care of you. And then do something for the people at school who do something for you. Teachers, janitors, people around there. Task-oriented, smile-oriented, love-oriented. And then to go into the school and find somebody who needs love, who needs a connection. You need somebody to pat them on the back and say, "Hey, how you doing? We're here." I found that those things make for better humans. Forget about better teams, which they do, but they're better humans. And that's why I do it. It's because they're connected. And as a coach, I use the phrase "love out loud." And I mean that. And I said, listen, sometimes love doesn't tell you what you want to hear, but love will always tell you what you need to hear. And that's the balance. And my mission as a coach is to cover them in enough love that nothing else will stick. And I think in these school systems, and again for teachers, most of the teachers that I've worked these programs with say openly that there's some value to them, and they understand it makes them better teachers. Gives the parents a nice other vehicle to check in, and it doesn't seem like snooping, and it doesn't seem like nagging. It's just there, and then I hand the project over to the team leaders, and then they do the work. I don't even see the paperwork. I don't see the check-ins. But what I found happens at the end of this is that they care about each other. They care more about themselves. They care about each other, and they care about other people. And then they understand the value of love in a team concept, in a community standpoint, in a school pride concept. They understand that they're responsible for the name that they were given, the name of the place that they play for, and the name of the people who care about them. So, you know, we can talk about guns, and I think most people know my place on guns. I'm not a fan, but I don't put that on anybody else. That's just for me, and that's just how I live. But when you start talking about young folks losing their lives, the adults in the room have to step up and protect the children before they address their own fears. Kids can't die because you're afraid of something. Can't do it. Doesn't make sense to me. I understand it. We can talk about mental illness, but I think if we connect the young people, a lot of those bridges will alleviate some of the problems. My heart goes to the folks in Florida. Parents shouldn't have to go through that. Young people shouldn't have to go through that. The school shouldn't have to go through that. The teachers, the families, community. Nobody should have to go through what they went through. And there is no perfect fix, but you don't have to do everything. You don't have to agree on everything, but you can do something. So I'm going to put this in the universe. Anybody wants information on my program, hit me up. Love Prince works. If we cover our young people in enough love that the other things won't stick, they'll be able to identify love when they see it, and they'll be able to identify the other when they don't. That's really what it's about, and I think that will lead the adults to making decisions based on love rather than fear. And we know which is which. Those are real simple. We know when you're making a decision based on love or when you're making one based on fear, and your fear is not greater than the lives of those young people that passed away in Florida or anywhere else in this country. Enough's enough. Let's fix it. Let's fix it. All right? You know how we finish. 2 fingers. Peace. Love.